And in this short session, I'm just going to share a few pointers on how to improve your success on social media. But there's a few things that really ought to be got out of the way before you start to improve your social media and work on being more engaging with the people in your target market. And the first of those things is that you shouldn't actually, in social media, be constantly trying to sell. I'm sure we're all sick of getting marketing emails and marketing messages, and we just switch off. And if somebody is constantly trying to pitch something to you in your social media, the chances are good you'll either unsubscribe, unfriend them, or unfollow them fairly quickly, because it just becomes boring, unengaging. And to be honest, you have to wonder why on earth you followed them in the first place. Another thing to try and avoid is to be too self-obsessed with how you think you are, how good you think you are. And that's one of the reasons why I don't tend to follow any celebrities, because to be honest, in my opinion, they're far too narcissistic. They're constantly going on about how wonderful they think they are and how great their life is. Well, in all honesty, I'm really not that interested. Tell me something that is interesting, that may interest me. And this applies to you and your audience when dealing with business social media. The key is to try and keep it interesting and engaging so that you'll draw people in. You will be known as a source of useful information. Another thing to bear in mind is putting out useless stuff. Things which are totally meaningless. And I'm sure we've all got people on, know people on social media who will share what they had for lunch, or where their tweet that they're queuing up in Greggs for some breakfast or something like that. So what? In all honesty, and let's get this right out of the way right now, no one really cares what you're having for lunch, unless it's something really wild and spectacular, or something completely and totally out of the ordinary. In all honesty, I don't really want to know what my friends have for lunch, or that they're queuing up for Greggs. Right? I just want to know that there's something interesting happening in their lives, that I might be able to help them, or share with them, or say, well done. And the same thing applies to your business. If there's something interesting and engaging happening in your company that others might be able to celebrate with you, or maybe congratulate you on, or maybe think well done, or think that's interesting, then share it. But please don't share the here's what I had for lunch kind of stuff with your business audience. I promise you they'll switch off really quickly. So, having got those things out of the way, what can we do to make our social media that little more interesting? Well, the number one thing, in my opinion, with social media is to try and be consistent. If you're going to put something out onto social media every day, make a commitment to doing that. There are some tools which you can use to help you automate and streamline that, such as Hootsuite. But whatever you do, try and be consistent. So, for example, if you're going to write something on your Facebook page 3 times a week, then do it 3 times a week, because your audience may come to expect that you're going to be putting out something almost every other day. And if they don't, all of a sudden, I promise you they'll lose interest and go elsewhere. And what I've found on social media is that people's attention spans are really short. So the key is to try and keep them engaged. And another thing that frustrates me is people who seem to tweet 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day about their business. And in all honesty, how much is going on in your company that you could do this? And to be honest, have I got the time to be looking at Twitter to read all of your tweets all of the time? No, I don't. And neither does anyone else. And some people say, well, if I put it out there 10 times a day, I'm going to reach some people at different parts of the day. And that's true. That's very true. But ultimately, are you wasting time on something which actually is going to just keep putting stuff out there, but isn't actually going to bring you a return? Which brings me on to something else. It just reminds me there, you should always aim for return on investment. If Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and Pinterest and all the other ones, you need to make sure that they are where your target markets are. For example, if you sell B2B, you want to be on Twitter. If you want to sell B2C, you want to be all over Facebook. You want to be all over Pinterest, perhaps. If you come back to B2B, you want to be on LinkedIn. Definitely want to be on LinkedIn. Okay, so go where your market is. Aim for that return on investment. So, here's a few things then that can help your social media become that little bit more engaging. There's been a lot of talk on the ratio between general social media messages and sales and marketing oriented social media messages, and I would say somewhere between 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 of your message needs to be some kind of promotion for what you do. Again, don't go overboard. If you're putting out 10 tweets a day and 2 of those are sales and marketing messages, I promise you, you're likely to switch people off. Don't do it. But aim for a healthy ratio. It could be less. I would recommend that you don't go overboard on the sales and marketing messages because, again, people will switch off. Another big thing is to try and be engaging in terms of bringing news you can use to your target market. And by this I mean sharing information that's relevant to your target audience, whether that's latest news, breaking developments, latest technology and stuff like that. Stuff that people can actually use and digest. Because one of the best things about social media is that you can pitch yourself as a very, very useful information source, and if people see you as an information source, they'll also see you as an expert in your field, and it gives them a greater feeling of empathy with you and connection with you and trust with you, and also establishment for what you're doing. In other words, when you do pitch a message to them, because you put that mind of the expert into their heads, then you're likely to get a better response than if you were just somebody who shared the kind of rubbish like what I had for lunch and oh dear, I'm getting rained on again. So try and pitch yourself as the expert with useful information that's relevant to your target market. Another useful thing is to try and get some kind of discussion going by asking questions. And is there things that you could ask people, get people to feedback, start some kind of discussion? This is particularly good on places like LinkedIn and Facebook, where people do tend to engage that a little bit more. So if you're involved in a LinkedIn group that's relevant to your target market, can you ask questions to try and provoke a little bit of conversation, a little bit of discussion? Because again, if you bring yourself in as the expert in that particular field, you're more likely to get noticed and you're more likely to win people over through your credibility when it comes to making a sales pitch or putting out sales and marketing messages. Something that works quite well in some industries on social media are competitions, particularly on Facebook. I know a handful of people who've done quite well out of competitions. A particular sports nutrition company here in Leicester did quite well out of having a competition, a prize draw. 1 in 100 people is going to win this bundle of sport nutrition when we get to X hundred number of likes. This worked incredibly well because people joined, because it was a 1 in 100 chance, regardless of how many users, likes and followers they had, of winning this sport nutrition. It enabled them to build up a Facebook following very quickly, and it still works for them. Someone else I know, Alice, she runs a beauty salon, and she used competitions quite well to build up her audience. And she's got to the point now on Facebook whereby every time she puts something out onto Facebook, every time she puts out an offer, every time she puts on a missed appointment that needs filling, it's almost always oversubscribed. Now that's good use of the social media, but what she does quite well is she provides regular information on beauty tips and health tips and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest, I don't need any hair care tips, not anymore anyway, but the information was always good and it was relevant to her target market, so it brought people in. So when she got a promotion on, or when she got somebody who'd missed an appointment, I've got a slot on Tuesday that needs filling, first come, first serve for this particular treatment, somebody bought it every single time. But it started off with being in that space, being useful, being helpful. Something else you could do to improve your social media, and it's something I do here and there, is invite an expert in to come and share something. And that could be a blog post, an article, it could even be a video blog post, as I did with my friend Gary just a couple of months ago. To, again, pitch yourself as the expert, someone who's useful, someone who's connected in your target market. And finally, whatever you do on social media, try and put a human voice and a human face behind your social media. Even in a business-to-business world, people like to do business with people. If you're just going to come across as this faceless corporation or this faceless business with no personality and no sense of humour, it's all business, 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 okay, you will likely switch a measure of people off. And simply because people love to engage with human beings. Even online businesses still have some level of interaction between themselves and their customers. And there's no reason why you shouldn't try and do that with your business. We put names and faces to almost everything we do in our business. I'm here talking to you, putting a face behind our business. Why? Because people still do business with people, even in the business-to-business world. Rarely in this world is something purely transactional, unless you're buying a book from Amazon. Okay? We still love human interaction, and a human voice, a human sense of humour, even just a human admission of a story that's got something that went wrong that's quite amusing, puts humanity into your business voice, and into your social media. And people really do buy into that, especially if you can write about something that's gone wrong or a mistake you've made with funny outcomes. That's actually very good, because chances are good it may get some viral element going with it. People love to share stuff that's funny or amusing, or shows somebody else's buffoonery, as long as there's no detriment to anybody. By all means, share it. Again, it puts humanity into your social media. It's called social because it's meant to be social. It isn't meant to be a broadcast medium. It's meant to be social, which means interaction. And to be honest, it's very difficult to interact with a faceless company. People interact with people. So, hope all of that has been useful. If you've any questions, by all means come back to us, share in the comments below, or give us a call, whatever. Connect with us on our other social media. But either way, go out there and do it. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Thanks again for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and want to get weekly reminders of our videos when they're published on YouTube, then please subscribe. There's a box somewhere in here with a subscription link. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and they'll give you reminders on when we publish new stuff. Only if it's been useful, of course. But either way, thanks for watching. It's much appreciated. Bye for now.